Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I have to tell you this story. On Saturday, there was the dock ramp at Sapelo Island. I got a message, I got a call from my sister Hermina. She was there. I had called her earlier that morning, and so I thought she was just returning that call. I was in the middle of a call with somebody who was going through some things, so I sent a text message, I'll call you right back. And she called again and again, and I said, this is not like her. So I told the person that I was talking to that I had to come off the phone and call her back. I had to call her right away. So I did, but the phone it didn't even connect. And I figured, oh, she must be on one of her treks back up in some place or on a river or in a marsh or doing one of her historical things or ocean conservation things, because that's who she is. And then I got a flurry of text messages. They were coming to me and to my bishop, Bishop Frank, and she was telling us what was going on in real time. For a second, I felt completely hopeless. I thought, what can I do? Can I drive over there? How can I get to the island? She didn't have all the information yet. They didn't know if it was the ramp or the dock itself that went down, and if the dock went down, they would have been all stranded on the island. So I began to pray. I lit the candles all over my house and I began to pray. I burned some sage and I began to pray. And then I walked around and I knew immediately there were things that I could do. There were people who I know who know how to pray that I could get them to pray. I wasn't going to put anything on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere like that because folks had already perished and loved ones who wouldn't have known would have been frightened and worried, and those who weren't perished their families would have been, it would have caused too much dismay. And so I said, I'll just call those who I know how to pray and know how to stop and pray right now. And they did. And then I called some other people who were in some positions to do some things, and I contacted them and I just forwarded her words. Her words were so poignant. They were so powerful. They were real time, seeing what was happening in real time. And I shared those words with those who could and would do something about it. And I continued to pray. I found out later on that her phone had died. And as soon as she got a little bit of power, she called me. She was in a state. I was in a state. But I knew that my state was nowhere near the state that she was in because of what she had seen. And she has shared online what she has seen, and that is her story to tell. And it was harrowing. And all I could do was be there with her. I said, call me back when you make it home. I was so grateful her husband was there. He was messaging me. She called back late that night. I immediately woke up to the sound of the phone and I began to pray with her, our Compline prayer. And it was so soothing, so deep and ancient, and reached into the heart in ways that needed to be done. I heard from her again the next day, and I found out that she found out that her 90-year-old neighbor wasn't doing well. So in her state of shock and survivor's guilt and wonder and concern and fear and all the things that happen after a catastrophe like that, she got up and took her neighbor to the hospital and sat with her all day. There's a power that works through folks that I know who have been in communication with God from the time they were children. And Hermina displayed that power that day. The power and the wherewithal to contact those who could and would pray and move, pray and act. The wherewithal to assist wherever necessary. And her husband got to praying with folks like nobody's business. And then the ability to look beyond her own stuff to take care of somebody else. We all have the power and the ability and the capacity to reach in and find that seed, that spark that keeps us going in the midst of tragedy. But the one she witnessed was so catastrophic. I pray that we all find within ourselves the power to look beyond our fear, our concern, our worry, to care for the neighbor in need, to care for the loved one who can't care for themselves, and to reach out to those we can pray with. I love you.